It started somewhere over 30,000 feet in the sky. A 4-year-old boy was screaming beside me, red-faced and inconsolable. I had just woken up from an uneasy nap, headphones still loosely around my ears, disoriented by the cabin lights and the piercing tantrum beside me. At first, I didn't know what had triggered the outburst. But then I saw his father's face, cold, calculating, and then he said it. "Can you cover that injury?" No greeting, no explanation, just a command, as if I were a broken display to be taken off the shelf, as if I were something grotesque to be hidden. The scar on my face was still healing, angry red, glistening under a layer of Vaseline that my dermatologist insisted I apply religiously. The tissue was new, tender, growing stronger every day, but still raw, still sensitive, still mine. I blinked, still adjusting to the sting of waking and that sting in his voice. I replied with the only truth that mattered. My dermatologist says I shouldn't, so no, I don't think I will. That's when the tone shifted. That's when he made it ugly. "There's no need to be so rude," he snapped. "That injury is graphic. It's scaring my little one." He said it like I was a horror movie. Like my face, my only face, was some kind of offense. As if the pain I lived with, the pain I wore, was less important than his child's momentary discomfort. It was like being slapped in the dark. I could feel the blood drain from my face, what was left unscarred anyway. My mouth moved before my mind could catch up. This is my face, the only damn face I've got. And it really sucks to be told I'm so ugly, I shouldn't show my face in public. The silence that followed felt like the whole plane stopped breathing. And then he started to backtrack. His voice faltered. "I just meant, just until it's healed." I looked him in the eyes. No tears, just truth. "It'll always be with me. Maybe teach some damn compassion and respect instead of telling a girl half your age what you think about her face. That's rude." He stood up, walked off. I didn't watch him go. A few minutes later, a young couple took his and his son's seats. They were quiet, kind. They said nothing, and that kindness broke me. I put on my sunglasses and cried behind them. Quiet, wounded tears. And that's how this story began. Only a few weeks earlier, my life had changed. The accident, I won't go into the details, left me with severe facial trauma. The wound began just above my hairline, sliced down through my brow, where hair would never grow again. It carved down my cheek, deepest at the fullest part, and then finished at my jawline. I'll have the scar forever. It's a truth I'm still learning to live with. My friends say it looks badass. They call it sexy and mysterious, in that way people do when they're trying to comfort you. They tell me I still look like me, that I'm hot, just in a different way now. And I want to believe them. But sometimes, it just hurts. Not the skin, not anymore. It hurts knowing that the first thing people will now see is the girl with the scar. That everything about me, my wit, my voice, my thoughts, my humor, might come second to a line of tissue I didn't choose. Before the flight, I sat in my dermatologist's office. She explained that I was at a crucial phase in my healing. No more bandages, no makeup, no cover-ups. The new skin needed to breathe, to be nourished, to rebuild. So I followed her orders. I carried ointments and Vaseline in my bag like a ritual kit. I moisturized. I wore SPF. And I tried, really tried, not to think about the stairs. This trip home was already weighing on me. I knew I'd have to face the, "Oh my God, what happened?" eyes from family. The pity, the forced smiles, the hesitant hugs. I was bracing for that, but I didn't expect to be told by a complete stranger that my very existence was too graphic for his child, that I should hide. Here's the part that lingers. He didn't even seem to register that I was a person. He didn't ask if I was okay. Didn't wonder what might have happened to me. Didn't offer a sorry to bother you, but or anything remotely human. He just wanted the problem, me, out of his line of sight. And yet, even as I told him off, even as my voice shook with quiet rage, a voice inside me whispered, "Was I too harsh? Was I wrong to speak like that in front of his kid? Should I have softened? Should I have apologized?" That voice is cruel. That voice is a liar. But when you're a woman in pain, and someone calls that pain ugly, it's hard not to doubt yourself. I've thought about that little boy since. He was maybe 4. He didn't choose to be scared. Children don't always understand what they see. But his fear wasn't the problem. His father's response was, that moment could have been a lesson, an opening to say, "Hey buddy, some people get hurt. It doesn't make them bad or scary. It makes them strong." He could have swapped seats. He could have talked to me. He could have been kind. But he didn't. He chose shame. He chose silence. He chose to walk away. And you know what? Maybe that was for the best. Because I didn't want to spend the next 3 hours sitting beside someone who thought my face was a crime scene. After they left, and the new couple settled in, I pulled my hoodie a little tighter. Not to hide, just to hold myself together. I thought about all the people who had ever been told to shrink, to cover up, to disappear. People with burns, with amputations, with birthmarks, with stories written on their skin that they didn't choose, but learned to carry. And in that moment, I felt something shift. Not confidence, not peace, not yet, but defiance. I didn't do anything wrong. I followed my doctor's orders. I boarded a plane. I existed. I wore my healing face into the world. That shouldn't require courage, but it does. And I found mine. So, am I the asshole? For not covering my scar? For defending my right to be seen? For reminding someone twice my age that respect goes both ways? No. I don't think I am. But I do think we live in a world that often asks the wounded to hide. And I think it's time we stop letting it. There's a moment in every story where the mask falls. For the woman on that plane, it wasn't a metaphor. It was real. Flesh, tissue, pain. And someone looked her in the eyes and asked her to disappear. That's not just a story about scars. It's a story about who we make room for. About how quickly we choose comfort over compassion. About how easy it is to shame what we don't understand. But healing isn't ugly. Scars aren't shameful. And no one should ever be asked to cover up their survival. So here's what I'll ask you, the listener. Have you ever told someone, directly or indirectly, that who they are is too much? Have you ever looked away when you should have leaned in? Let this be a reminder. What makes us uncomfortable can also teach us something. And sometimes, the bravest thing someone can do is take their seat, head held high, and say, "This is my face, the only one I've got." And if you've ever had to say those words, we see you. You're not alone. You're not the problem. You're the story we need. This is AITA Story Vault. We keep the stories the world tries to hide. And sometimes, we hold the mirror up to ourselves. Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you've ever faced something similar, share it. Your voice matters. Thanks for listening.